We're going to talk about lead scoring in a little bit of detail. I'm in ClickDimensions on page views, and I'm looking at the various pages, and I notice that they all have score in a column here. Most pages have a score of 3, which is my default value. Here's one with a 10. Here's another with a 5. So let's start by looking at where the default values for different scoring events come from. We'll go into the settings area and click on ClickDimensions settings. And on this page what we have is we have a score settings area that I can click. And when that pops open, I get a window where I can set the default values for my organization. So these are all the different types of events that cause a lead, a contact, or an anonymous visitor score to increase. Each entity, whether it's an anonymous visitor or an identified lead or contact, has a score based on the page views and their individual scores and the clicks on email links from emails that have been sent to him or her. So those things create the scores. The page view scores roll up to the visit. All the visits roll up to the summary score for the anonymous visitor, the lead, or the contact. So for example, with my defaults, every time somebody successfully submits a form on our site, 25 points is added to their score. If they error out, 5 points is taken off. Every visit that they have to the site is worth 5 points. Every page view is worth 3. If they are associated with an account record where an opportunity is created, 10 points will be added. I've set opportunity loss to 0. You can change these and do whatever you want. And then an email click, I think I'll put that up to 5. I think that's probably worth more. Maybe I'll even make that 10. So these are going to be my default values for lead score. Now earlier in the web tracking video we talked about the script that you put on pages and how it's found here under script example, and how by setting a variable on certain pages you can change the score of those pages. So if you want your pricing page or your product tour page to have a higher score than what you just saw in the defaults, you simply need to, on that page, set a variable so that the score will be either increased or decreased. You can use a negative number there. And so that's what causes the score to be custom for individual pages. You don't have to do this. If you don't do this on any pages, that's fine. You'll simply use the defaults. So now let's look at where scores show up. Let's go back into marketing. On page views, obviously score shows up. I can see that I just went to the home page, which has a score of 5, but the support page has a score of 3 because it's using the default. And so that is on the page view level. On the visit level, if I pull up visits, whether they're by an anonymous visitor or an identified visitor, I can see they all have a score. So for example, I just had a visit here that has a score of 18. I have another visit here that had 28. So if I open that visit, take a look at it, I'll see that there were 4 total pages. The score is 28. If I look at the page views, I can see that 1 was worth 3, 1 was worth 10, and 2 were worth 5. So if I add that, that's 23 points, but the visit itself was worth 5 points. So that's where I get the 28 points. Now this score of 28 on this visit is going to roll up to the lead. So if I pull up the lead's record, I can see that on his record, I can see down here at the bottom of the lead that his score is 140. And notice that we have also a separate field where you can actually edit that if you want to do any changes to the score during workflow. So this will roll up to the lead record, to contact records, and to anonymous visitor records. And that's kind of lead scoring in detail.